It's a lot of fun to do. Bruce is not hard to do that with. He has fun up there. So it's good. It's a lot of fun.
So is there anything you didn't talk about in the panel that you have to share with us? Kind of just more
Oh, that's a good question. What sort of thing? Jog my memory.
Well, are we going to be seeing more of the Sam Adams backstory, future story, similar story?
That's actually a good question. I mean, one of the things that I didn't really talk about on the panel is that one of the things about the movie is it really does. One of the intentions of the movie, like above and beyond its existence as a separate movie, is part of an overall thing that we're doing to build out all of the characters on the show and really get into their backstory and relationships and stuff like that. So over the course of the season, you know, some characters from the show recur. Things that are established in the movie become important for the series, so seeing the movie, I think also my intention was that it would make watching the show a richer experience and give us more places to go in the future with Sam. Because ultimately it's not just about doing a prequel. If it's a prequel that doesn't pay off in significant ways, then it's not worth doing.
So you might be doing Cody Bell's little stories, or like Jesse.
Well, yeah, I mean, actually, this season, I mean, and that's another thing. This season is really hugely about, you know, Michael's past and Sam's past and how these people came to be who they are, and also how they've developed as characters over the course of the show, because they're not the same people they were. And so, you know, this year is a lot about, okay, Michael's this guy who started the show without any really close friendships, no close relationships, kind of an island unto himself. 5 years in, we don't get to play that anymore. He's not. You know what I mean? He's a guy who's, so, you know, now he's moved in with Fiona, and in a way, it's everything that we might ever have hoped for him as a person. And the season is about just how terrible that is for him as an operator. Like, and the stuff that he runs into later in the season, having gotten a lot of what he thought he wanted, it turns out to be far, far more challenging than he expected, and that's impacted by Sam and Fiona and everybody. So I don't know. Yeah, so that's something we can talk about.
Can you talk a little bit about the comic and the decision to do kind of the Lost Time in comic form online?
Yeah, I mean, they approached us about the idea of doing a comic, and we'd always wanted to do it. We'd always talked about it because this will sound really wonky and lame, but it's just true. Like, there are certain things that you can do in a comic book that we can never, ever do, right? Because we're shooting in Miami and we shoot on 7 days. And so, like, showing Michael, something as simple as showing Michael on a hill. There are no hills in Florida. Like, so just like, if we ever want Michael on a hill, better happen in the comic book. Like, Michael walks uphill, comic book, that's it, right? You know, Michael is in snow, comic book. So, I mean, we did a little bit of that on the show, but you know, that's a big technical challenge and stuff. So the other thing was, the show is largely about seeing a spy in a non-spy context. We do more stuff in a spy context this year than we ever have in the past, but showing some of that CIA world, which is really the province of other shows. I mean, it's Code Affairs on USA. But it's not something we do a lot of on Burn Notice, and so seeing some of that more traditional stuff is something that was well served in a comic book. So I guess the short answer is we were excited to do it because in the comic book, Michael can go to other countries that don't look like Florida, and Michael can do things that are really spy-tastic that we don't really do on the show.
I thought it was really well done, and it read like you were watching an episode, so I really liked that.
That was really something we also thought about a lot, and worked with the comic book folks on, like, what does a voiceover look like in a comic book? You know, how does that work? And how do we parcel out the story so that it has the same feel? So yeah, I guess that also says, we thought it wasn't going to be that much work, but then we realized that's not really how we roll. So we were like, oh no, we got to make this good. We got to make it exciting.
Do you have any more plans for like standalone movies?
Not at the moment, but that's really sort of a network and studio thing. It's something we'd be interested in doing, but it's sort of a question of like appetite at the network, availability.
Do you think sometime down the road, a long time from now, when the series comes to an end, that maybe going to movies to continue the story past that on occasion would be something you guys would think about doing?
Would I think about it? Absolutely. I mean, I think that'd be really fun. It's interesting, that whole movie television crossover. It's weird, like the difference, the lines between those kinds of entertainment, they've broken down in a huge way in the last like 8 months, like just the amount of stuff that's available, like Netflix streaming or stuff like that. The idea that Netflix, a place where you rented movies, has become largely a place where you stream television shows, Hulu, all of those things. So yeah, I think that as those things break down more and more, the model of make a gigantic movie, spend $50 million promoting it, and that's the only way to make your money back on a movie, is breaking down, and that's to the good if you want to do stuff like the Fall of Sam Axe or future movies. So hopefully, yeah. I mean, I think in the old school, it's impossible. You're not realistically going to do a movie based on a TV show and promote it for $50 million. But these days, you actually could. So
thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much.